Hi guys, it's Alex and Justin from a.j.overlanding. We're currently sat here. We've just swallowed a fly and seen a dust storm, tornado. But we're sat in an old abandoned station in the goldfields of WA, and we have taken the time out today to just chill, and we've been reflecting on our time in South Australia. We spent 3 months in South Australia, but that wasn't the original plan. It was all COVID and border related, and we realised that we hadn't really planned anything in South Australia. When we were thinking of doing our big lap, we were really excited about the top end and Darwin, Cape York, Kakadu, Broome, etc. And there was nothing really in South Australia that we were like, we must do. But having been in South Australia, you must do South Australia. It's awesome.
You'd be missing out if you skip through it.
It's an underrated state. So we thought in this video we just quickly talk through our best hikes, campgrounds, beach tracks, because you can do so much beach driving, and tourist attractions. But before I do that, I'm just going to be really corny and ask Justin, if I say South Australia to him, what comes to mind?
Wind, 4 seasons in one day, super friendly people, beautiful old houses, rolling fields of crops and beaches and coastline. It's just
a beautiful
cool place, yeah.
So I will start off with our best hikes. To be honest, having come from the Northern Territory in Queensland, there aren't as many hikes in South Australia as there are up there, but there are still 3 really good hikes that we would recommend anyone does if they're going around South Australia. The first one was Alligator Gorge in Mount Remarkable National Park. We did the 8k loop. You probably don't have to do the whole 8k because the 4k of that is just a fire trail. But once you actually get into the gorge, I mean, we did time it pretty well with the rain. It was nice and wet in the gorge, but you had running water, steep kind of, it's a narrow gorge that you're walking through. The moss and the greenery was just amazing. The sounds were amazing. And to top it all, at the end, you have to walk through kind of a really narrow bit with like stepping stones in the water. And it was just, I think it was almost our best walk of the trip at that point.
It was amazing.
Our second one is actually in the northern Flinders Ranges, so in Arkaroola Reserve, just near Gambier Ranges. And it was the Acacia Ridge Walk. It's about 5k one-way walk in the reserve. We didn't stay there, but anyone can do the walks there, and anyone can book on for them to drop you off. I think they do it once or twice a day. They drive down to the start, and then you just walk back, and they just ask for a donation to the Royal Flying Doctors Service.
Yep.
And it was pretty windy when we did it, but the views from the top of the ridge of the landscape and the kind of iconic Flinders Ranges hills and the kaleidoscope of colours that you see on the hills was just amazing. So that was our best hike in the Flinders. And last but not least, Deep Creek Circuit in Deep Creek National Park on the, I always say it wrong, the Fowlers Peninsula. This was longer, it's about 13k, and it hurt. We did it on a really hot day, and there is some ups and there are some downs, but you get some amazing views of the coast. You go through a waterfall and you get to where the creek enters into the ocean. So yeah, they're our top 3 hikes. Justin's going to go through beach tracks.
So beach tracks, so South Australia is where you want to go if you like driving on beaches or on beach tracks or in sand dunes. There is an abundant amount of beaches, dunes, tracks you can go on. But these are our 3 favourite. Now, our first one, is the Beachport to Robe, but we actually did Canunda National Park down to Carpenter's Rock. Coorong National Park, sorry. Down to Carpenter's Rocks. But the best part is that Beachport to Robe. You get that iconic South Australian coastline, limestone headlands, and then when we got to the bottom at Carpenter's Rocks, we were greeted with some seals playing, which was pretty cool because that was the one thing our friends that joined us on that bit wanted to see. So
yeah, it's not too long from Beachport all the way down to Carpenter Rocks, so we actually Left Robe one morning, and obviously you've got the obelisk in Robe. We stopped overnight on the track, got to Beachport for lunch and had a nice pub lunch in Beachport, and then that afternoon we drove down to Carpenter Rock. So if you want to add it on, I
think the journey all in all was about 3 days. So that was that one. Then we've got the Sleaford Wanna track, which is just out of Lincoln National Park.
In Lincoln National Park?
Is it? Yeah. That was cool. There were emus, dunes. No, it was just a very unexpected path. We came out from Memory Cove, decided to do it as a detour back into town to drop the key off. And it was just a really pleasant surprise and a good, easy dune track.
I think what made it cool is it was really windy, so unfortunately we didn't get any drone shots, but it had wiped out any previous tracks, so it's a bit more, they have posts, but it was a bit more like, whoa, we're just driving in these wild dunes. And the dune system in South Australia, there's loads of them, but it's almost like you're actually in the desert.
Yeah. And then our third and final one is Fowlers Bay. So we did this from Mexican Hat up to
the other pointy
Bay,
bit.
The town. Yeah. And it was awesome. We drove along the beach, you get to go along a headland, we saw some blowholes, there's some cool little islands, juddy outy bit to explore. We camped at Mexican Hat and we camped at the other end. And yeah, it was just an exceptional bit.
And unexpected, we didn't really know what to expect from Fowlers Bay, and we just thought, can we drive on the beach here? And we googled it and it says you can do it, and awesome.
Once again, South Australia is one of those places where it's a bit hard to find a big group of information on it, but once you do it, it's amazing.
So our top camp spots, now we spent 3 months roughly in South Australia, so this was really quite hard, but we've kind of gone through a list, and it's not necessarily the best camping, but it's the most unexpected, or the ones that we kind of is in our memory for a while. So the first one is Warren Gorge, which is at the southern end of the Flinders near Coorong, and we were just trying to find a camp that wasn't too expensive near Coorong, and it was a council run camp, but you actually camp right at the base of this cool, it's not really a gorge, but a cool
mountain,
kind of mountain rock wall thing, and with the sunset, the colours were amazing, and it was just a real surprise. Really nice toilets, awesome campground, and the timing of that was, again, because of all the recent rain, all the flowers were stunning, and you can do a walk there as well, but we just hiked up the rock face, and beautiful. Our second one was in the Gawler Ranges. We stayed at the Kolay hut, and we knew it had toilets and that was about it. But the Gawler Ranges is kind of in the northern end of Eyre Peninsula, and it's really cool because if you haven't got time to go into the outback, or you're a bit nervous about going into the outback, you can get that outback experience in the Gawler Ranges. And it's an old station as well, and the Kolay hut is clearly an old outbuilding, and we came across some showers, which if you could have a fire, but unfortunately it was fire season, you could use the donkey boiler to make it warm. And it had like a camp kitchen, that was just the old kitchen for, I'm assuming, the shearers, but they had detergent in it and you could use it, so if it was bad weather you could hide out in there. So that was just again an unexpected awesome campsite. Number 3 is Memory Cove, and what makes Memory Cove cool is the fact that you have to get a key from the Port Lincoln Visitor Centre. So they only let a certain number of people into the Memory Cove area per day. So you have to get a key. Unfortunately, you can only get it the day before you go, and you have to hand it back the day after you go. But it's a private little cove, and it's got 5 camp spots there. There were other people when we were there, but you barely saw them. Yeah. It was a nice sheltered cove, which was cool. Yorke Peninsula, so many amazing beach campsites, which we've got a video on. But if we had to choose our best, Gleesons Landing was our favourite. It's another council run one where you can pay $10 for the night, or you can pay $50 for a week, and that works at all of their sites, so you haven't got to choose which one you're going to. But being on the peninsula, you've got awesome sunsets. You're on the cliff edge, awesome swimming, just amazing. And finally, Pildappa Rock, which is up near the Gawler Ranges, but it's South Australia's version of Wave Rock, but you can camp with just a donation kind of all around the rock, which was awesome. So yeah, that's our top 5 campsites.
Yep, and our top 3 tourist attractions. So number 1 has to be swimming with sea lions. One bit me on the arse. I then got electrocuted by the EMP sharp turn thing.
Nothing happened to me, I was all good.
And yeah, but in general, it was an amazing day. We were out with Baird Bay Eco Tours, so we stayed in Baird Bay. They were an amazing family-run business. There are another couple of companies that do it, but they do it out of Port Lincoln. It seemed a bit more touristy, and we wanted to try and, especially in this time, support a local small family-run business, and they were incredible. Yeah, what more can I say? We swam with sea lions and dolphins. They were cool. Our second one would be the Umphis and Sinkhole. So it's a sinkhole in Mount Gambier. It's free to enter.
It's raining.
It's raining.
So, slight interruption there. We just got a torrential downpour of rain, which was unexpected in the outback, and now we've got the wind again. Yeah. Time it well. So where were we? We were talking about the sinkhole in Mount Gambier.
Yeah, so Umphis and Sinkhole is a garden inside a sinkhole in Mount Gambier. It's in the middle of the town really, and it's an amazing place to go have a picnic, go enjoy the gardens.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free to get into, and it's just such a unique experience that you're not going to get in other parts of Australia that we've seen at least. Highly recommend that. And our third and final one is the Borough Historic Passport.
So you're taking your 4 takes to get that?
It's an amazing experience. It's by far and large the best tour historic museum we've been to, because it is a town that you get a key. You feel a bit special because you can go around and unlock these doors and explore the brewery.
Kind of like a VIP behind the scenes tour almost, is what you feel like.
You're not just like standing on one side of the red rope in a museum thinking about what it would have been like. You're inside the buildings, you're going through doors, little passageways, little pathways in that brewery underground. It was just such a unique experience that we haven't really had anywhere else, and there was no one there.
It was $30 a person, which sounds quite expensive for a traveller, but worth every cent. I'll say cent, not pence, because you get a key and you're on your own, and you can keep the key for 3 or 4 days. They're really relaxed as long as you return it, so you can explore it at your own pace, and you can go back again, and there's no one else in the. You get a key to the brewery and you go underground and there's no one else there. So yeah.
Yeah, and it involved a couple of mines, a lot of old buildings. But
yeah, the Bonnecourt Mine Museum with the Cornish man talking about his warehouse.
It was very good all in all, but South Australia.
So yeah, we will stop rambling on now. Key takeaway, go to South Australia. Put it on your list. Don't just have it as a state that you've got to get to WA. It is awesome. There's so much to do. Yes, the weather is so unpredictable, but the people are lovely. The things are awesome. If you want to go beach driving, if you want to go free camping.
And obviously there were many more things we did, explored, places we stayed. Sadly, if we talk about them all, we'd bore you to death. So
more than we already have.
Yeah, more than we have. So we won't do that. We'll leave that. If you have any other questions, put them in the comment section. You can hit us up on Instagram.
And we've done a vlog for each week that we were there. So if you have a look at those, if you have any questions, I imagine there'll be some links at the end of the video.
Yep. So that's it.
Nothing more to say then. Go SA! And who's our favourite person in South Australia?
Dr. Nicola Spiria.
Amazing.
Saint Nick.